In the West, wealth wears corporate names: Apple, Amazon, Exxon, Black. They rise, they fall, and they fade with quarterly earnings. But in Asia, power does not fade. It inherits from father to son, uncle to nephew, sometimes even to a loyal apprentice who becomes family by law. Welcome to the financial timeline, where money isn't just money. It's lineage. In Asia, business isn't business. It's bloodline. Behind every logo is a patriarch. Behind every CEO is a family council. Behind every billion-dollar fortune is a story of survival, brutal, brilliant, and deeply personal. To understand this system, you have to imagine a continent where capitalism had to be rebuilt from nothing, not with Wall Street institutions, but with families acting as banks, regulators, and safety nets all at once. After World War II, Asia was in ruins. Japan devastated. China in revolution. Korea divided. Southeast Asia under colonial rule. There were no markets, no credit systems, no trust. So, people trusted the only network that never collapsed: family. If a cousin loaned money, it wasn't finance, it was loyalty. If a brother ran your warehouse, no contract was needed. If a nephew betrayed you, it was a crisis that echoed for generations. From those bonds, Asia rebuilt. In the 1950s, new patriarchs emerged: merchants, migrants, survivors. Governments needed stability. Families needed opportunity. So they formed an alliance that would reshape the world. The state offered protection, loans, and licenses. The families offered loyalty, efficiency, and growth. This partnership built the Asian miracle, decades of expansion that lifted millions out of poverty. But the price was simple: loyalty for power. Unlike Western corporations where shareholders rule, Asian families built corporate structures designed never to lose control. One holding company owns another, which owns another, until the ownership loops back to the family trust. On paper, the patriarch owns 20%. In practice, he controls everything. Control means more than ownership. It means deciding who belongs. In Asia, bloodline isn't limited to genetics. If a loyal executive proves himself, he can be adopted as an adult to continue the family line. In Japan and Korea, it's common. A man in his 40s or 50s becomes the heir of an empire overnight. This isn't symbolic. This is how the dynasty becomes immortal. Asian capitalism is built to survive the founder, to survive crises, to survive time. By the 1980s, these dynasties dominated Asia's economies. Korea had its chaebols. Japan, the Kir. Hong Kong, the property hongs. Indonesia and the Philippines, their own sprawling conglomerates. They built the ships that carried Western goods, the semiconductors that powered Silicon Valley, the textiles that filled European malls. But decision-making remained ancient. Marriage alliances tied rival firms together. Family dinners doubled as board meetings. Succession conflicts resembled royal dramas more than corporate fights. This wasn't capitalism. This was monarchy, disguised as modern business. In the mid-1990s, Asia boomed. Then the bubble burst. Currencies collapsed. Debts exploded. Governments fell. Foreign investors panicked. But family empires survived because they weren't built like corporations. They were fortresses. Assets were spread across dozens of companies. If one collapsed, another absorbed it. If a factory failed, the land stayed in the family trust. If a bank defaulted, a cousin bought it back for pennies. The same families that owned the debt ended up owning the recovery. Western analysts called it crony capitalism. But in Asia, it was stability. When global capital fled, family capital stayed. By the 2000s, the same dynasties the West had written off as relics were stronger than ever. Their heirs studied at Harvard, Stanford, LSE. They returned fluent in the language of global finance, but loyal to the family code. Samsung became a tech titan. Reliance became a telecom superpower. Li Ka-shing bought assets across continents. Japan's old Zaibatsu descendants still quietly shape entire industries. Modern companies, ancient logic. Considerti Samsung's annual revenue rivals Finland's GDP. Hong Kong's top 4 families control over half the city's prime land. Korea's top 10 chaebols make up 80% of its stock market. Japan's adopted heirs continue century-old corporate lineages. These are not corporations. They are monarchies, built for the modern world. And while Western billionaires rise and fall, Asia's dynasties grow stronger with every generation. This isn't just Asia's story. It's the world's future. The Waltons, the Kochs, the Murdochs were entering a new age of dynastic capitalism. The West built systems that outlive people. Asia built people who outlive systems. And in a world where institutions keep breaking, you survive by doing what Asia's families did. You don't trust the system. You build your own. If this changed how you see power, hit subscribe. History doesn't repeat, but dynasties do.